Good afternoon. In this video I'd like to go over parts that make up a roller shutter. I hope what they're saying is correct about the camera putting on a couple of pounds, because this shirt's getting very tight. But anyway, I digress. So, manual aluminium roller shutter here, and I've raided the scrap bin in the warehouse to show you various different bits. So starting from the top, canopy encloses the shutter so that there's no moving parts and you can't see the curtain when it's wrapped up. At each end of the shutter you have an end plate, guide, bottom rail, and the bits that are hidden. On one side of the shutter you've got the safety brake, and the other side of the shutter the motor. Now these are aluminium shutters, so they tend to have the smallest guide, smallest barrel, smallest end plates. I've assembled various different bits to show you from different types of shutters, so you can get an idea of what's available. Bear with me while I keep bending down. But first of all, bottom rail. So this is a T bottom rail, i.e. a T. We can also do them as L bottom rails if it's coming down tight onto something, or also with no bottom at all. T bottom rails tend to be with steel shutters, again to get the strength. That's your bottom rails. Guides. And as you can see, guides can vary in width and thickness. U-shape, channel, or the smallest on the aluminium, which has already got the box section on there. End plate. Again, this is an aluminium end plate, 205mm by 205mm, but they can go all the way up to 500mm by 500mm on some of our bigger industrial shutters. And on the aluminium shutters, it's very simple. There's your guide. It slots into the bottom. And that's what we in the industry call a flag post, for obvious reasons. That's when the guide is attached to the end plate. Barrels. This is an aluminium barrel, which is a lot lighter than steel. And again, they go anything from 50mm up to 250mm. Aluminium or steel. Obviously the barrel is what takes the weight of the shutter and what the shutter rolls up and down onto. Now, what goes in to the barrel at one end is the tube motor. Tube motor slots in one end. As you can see, this part of the motor sticks out, which is why often you have to have a guide wider than you'd actually hoped to take into account for this. I don't know if you can see on there, there's your setting for your limits, and on the back end is your sockets for your manual override. Again, this is a fairly small one, just been replaced because it's broken down. This one's about 5 kilos, but then go anything up to around 25 kilos. Then on the other end of the shutter, you've got your safety brake. So your barrel spindle goes through here, and this works just like a seat belt. So if it detects the shutter falling, it then locks to stop the shutter falling down. And that's at the other end. So one end of your shutter is your safety brake, the other is your motor. And last couple of bits really, especially on electric shutters, we always use a control panel. So from the tube motor to the control panel to a key switch, rocker switch or remote control. and that's your bits of your shutter. So you can have guides of all different sizes, aluminium, steel. You can have different size control panels that are doing different types of things. If the shutter is remote control, it'll have a different type of control panel. If it's an industrial type shutter, it'll often have a push button control panel at a low level. But that's really all I've got to say. Please excuse the tight shirt. I have to start going to the gym again. But if you've got any questions, you can tell they come out the scrap bin. If you've got any questions, by all means, just drop us an email, give us a call. We'd love to help. Thanks for your time today.